All right, guys. So, but this is important, very important for Spanish 1. We already learned about how to conjugate, how to change, dropping the AR verb endings, and applying the endings that belong to each subject, each person. Now, we have to learn about ER and IR verbs. All verbs in Spanish end with ER, AR, ER, or IR. So today we're going to concentrate about the ER and IR verbs, how they are different from the first ones that we learned. ER, when I say ER, is like the verb comer, to eat, right? Ends with ER. Compartir, which is to share, ends with IR. So what are they? What are they different? How they are different? So it says here, regular verbs that end with ER, or ir work a little different than regular AR verbs, like the verb hablar, for example. How do you form the present tense? Well, very similar, right? How do you form the present tense of ER and IR verbs? Well, you're going to conjugate. Does anybody remember what conjugation means? Conjugation is a change, correct. Conjugation is a change based on the subject. What's the subject? The subject is the person that is doing that action. Yeah? So if I am doing this action, I am the subject, right? And based on that, I change the verb. So the changes in the verb will always happen at the end. So again, vender is in its infinitive form, its regular infinitive original form. So what do? You drop that ER or AR and IR and put the endings that belong. For yo, would be O, vendo. For to is ES. Now notice that in the yo form, just like AR verbs, nothing changed, right? Hablar, how do you say I speak? Yo hablo, right? You get rid of AR and put the O, right? How do you say I sell? To sell is vender. You get rid of the ER and put in the O, yo vendo. So there really is not a change there, yeah? There isn't. But guess where there is a change? In the others. In to, if the subject is to, you, the ending is ES. You get rid of ER and put ES in it. Now, if it would have been hablar, it would have been AS, hablas, right? But it's ER, so therefore it's vendes, tú vendes. Él, ella, and usted, also they share the same ending. It's not an E because it's an ER verb. So it will be vende. You get rid of AR, ER, and put E, vende. For nosotros, es hemos. The ending is hemos. Will be vendemos. We sell. Por vosotros es eis. Vendéis. Ustedes, ellos and ellas, they share the same ending as well. And here is an E with an N at the end. Venden. Okay? So how are they different than AR verbs? Well, AR verbs have an A in it. ER and IR verbs have an E. Okay? Now, this is for ER verbs like vender, comer, beber. Now you have others like IR verbs. But before we get into those and compare them, let's look at this sentence. It says, Mario vende comida en la cafetería. Mario is the name of the person. He is the subject. It's a he, él. Therefore, he sells, right? Notice how I say sells. That is a conjugation in English. I don't say he sells, right? That would be incorrect. That he sells, so the verb is changed, it's conjugated right there. So Mario sells food in the cafeteria. Because it's he that's doing it, you get rid of the R and put an E without the accent. Mario vende comida en la cafetería. That's how it works. It's determined by the subject, by who's doing the action, which ending at the end of the verb will go. you would put. Now, compartir is to share. The same thing. You do the same thing. How do you conjugate? Well, you get rid of the ending. First of all, you get rid of the ending. And then you put the ending that belongs to each, depending on the subject or who's doing the action. Again, for yo, no difference there. It's an O. For tú, it's ES, compartes, you share. For usted, él, and ella is an E, comparte. He shares, she shares, you using the formal form of you. Nosotros compartimos. Now, here is where you see the difference. If you look at nosotros of IR verbs and the nosotros of ER verbs, what do you see different? Well, in the nosotros, the ER verbs is hemos. And for nosotros of IR verb is hemos. Do you notice that? It matches the vowel. It matches the vowel of the verb. Only in the nosotros and the vosotros form. So if you have comer, which is to eat, you want to say we eat, you say comemos, because it's with an ER. But if you have a verb like vivir, which is to live, then it has to match the ending, the I, right? So it will be how we live. How do you say that? Vivimos. And that's the only two places in nosotros and vosotros that they are different. But everywhere else, they share the same end of the verb. Vendo, comparto. Compartes, vendes. Vende, comparte. And now here's the difference. Compartimos, vendemos. Vendéis, compartís. And then it goes back to normal. Ustedes, ellos, and ellas is an EN, comparte. Compartimos las uvas. We share in the grapes. So that's what you do with ER and IR verbs. That's the beauty about it, that they share the same endings. Okay? Most of them are going to have an E and an N in it, except in nosotros and vosotros form, where you just have to match. If it's an ER, it will be hemos. If it's an IR verb, it will be hemos. Okay? You guys have any questions about that? All right. So now what we're going to do, we are going to concentrate on completing activity 5, 6, 7, and 8 in pages 174 and 175. Let's do activity, I'm sorry, that's not the correct one, my bad. It's page 150, 151. It's activities 13, 14, and 15. We did it? Okay. All right. So make sure that you guys complete them. If you already completed them, that's all right. Okay. But remember, the main thing here is to determine which verb would you use. Okay. In this case, would be comer, the verb comer. All of them are comer. Rodrigo y Marisol comen uvas. Tú comes. No, tú bebes. It's either beber or comer. Beber is to drink and comer is to eat, and they both are ER verbs. Okay? You do activity 13, 14, and 15. All right? So that's what you guys have to do for today. I know some of you guys didn't really do it last time because you guys were concentrating in the flip grid. So it is important. That's why we're covering this. And that's one of the main subjects that will be in your final exam. Okay? So I'll let you guys do it.